Chapter 6, Episode 12. Making the Elixir and the Secret of the Medicis family. Then it's time to get the raw materials for the elixir. Blanche is kicked out of Lot's guest room and Pal breathes with a forbidden book in his hand. Ellen was looking out the salon door. From outside I could hear things like Pal Sama. Please open this place, please return the forbidden book. Looks like the servants of the Medicis family are gathering outside. Can you let me go through them to the medicine store? Does it have anything to do with this? I can get out of here. Ha 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 ha. You're too brilliant to get into trouble. Pal went to a corner of the guest room, put his hand on the wall and whispered an activation chant. Then a magic circle appeared on the wall, a hole opened and a passage to the next room appeared. Secret door? All our rooms are connected with a secret passage. To prevent rebellion by intruders and servants. It was the first time I had heard of Ellen. The relatively newly established Bonfoy family has nothing of the sort. From the outside, the Medici family is an old mansion built several hundred years ago and built with respect for tradition and formality. I wonder if the mansion, built when the war was going on in the imperial capital, was also prepared for emergencies. Ellen was astonished. I'm glad you told me about the secret of the mansion. Didn't you also hear it from Falma-kun? Even if you knew, you wouldn't be able to unlock it. Yes. Welcome to my de Medici's family, which has the lineage of the oldest apothecary in the world. Changing the tone of his voice and spreading his hand in a grand gesture in a theatrical tone, Pal invites Ellen to a secret door. Behind the walls of each room Ellen carefully entered. There was a secret passage in the depths of the de Medici's family drugstore. I don't have a lock. That's not right. The medicines inside are all secret national treasure class medicines and mysterious raw materials. It's a heavy steel door with a distinctly different shape than a normal medicine cabinet, and I can't find the key. How do you open it? Pal pressed his wand against the steel door and chanted an activation chant that was unfamiliar to Ellen. As if in response to his chant, a dent appeared in the door, and when you stroked the dent, the door opened. Pal invited Ellen in and entered the medicine cabinet. The interior was designed like a treasure trove, and the shelves attached to the walls were neatly lined with expensive-looking medicine bottles. Bruno's prized medicine cabinet of the de Medici's family contained an incredible selection of raw materials for medicines needed to make the illogical apothecaries. Mysterious active ingredients are rare raw materials such as the sacraments of the patron deities, fabled raw materials and crystal stones. It is not available in the distribution channels listed in the table. I can't believe there are hundreds of different species. I can't believe the master had so many mysterious drug substances in his possession. My father is also a court apothecary, and although I cannot say it openly, I have even tried to synthesize elixir and divine medicine, including the elixir of life. I didn't know that. I thought only the former Archduke Tremoille thought about such things. Oh. What is Archduke Tremoille? No, this way. Father said that he almost sealed this secret medicine store after realizing the high price of using forbidden arts. What happened? Pal traced the label of the active substance from the edge of the shelf and explained it to Ellen. Actually, below me, above Falma, there is a younger sister who is stillborn. I haven't investigated. It could just be stillborn, but my father has changed since then, and I'm kind of trapped. What do you mean changed? I started expanding my herb garden. About that time, I started to use Budo Shinjutsu to its full potential. I didn't know this story. As Ellen's teacher, Bruno mainly uses herbs that can be grown in the Empire as active ingredients, and uses safe and highly versatile divine arts to synthesize magical medicines. Speaking of what only Bruno can do, it is a special divine art called Budo Divine Art. Ellen was never taught that only Akushi, the patron god of medicine, can do this. Can Pal-kun also do Budo Shinjutsu? Of course you can. There are almost no scenes to use it. Well, I don't have time. My mother knows about the secret door, so maybe she can go in. Unlock seal. Pal with his stick and divine arts removes the manipulated glass from the medicine cabinet one by one, takes the vials with the mysterious drug and hands them to Ellen. By the way, what is the language of the label on this medicine? Ellen, who was Bruno's #1 student and an honor student, has more than one level of education in what is supposed to be an ancient language. It was a language I had never seen before, even though I remembered Ellen's knowledge, because it is written in another language that has been handed down since time immemorial in the Medici's family, so it cannot be read. I can read it because my father beat me into it. Falma-kun, can you read too? He wasn't taught anything. It's what's been passed down from generation to generation. Only my father and I can read it. Hearing this, Ellen learns that Bruno has given his students pharmaceutical training appropriate to their position. Bruno has taught Falma more general divine medicine. Ellen also. Pal, however, was made to learn pharmacy, which specialized in mysteries. Pal-kun is the only one who learned much from the master, he said. Well, I am the next leader of this villa, after all. I know every corner of the villa that Falma doesn't, so I can take over if something happens to my father. There are many in this villa, and singing to open the lock while it was not open. If I had died of leukemia then, my father would have told Falma. Nevertheless, it seems that you did not know how to read the forbidden book. I don't know the individual mechanisms of the collection. There are various things that are currently being adopted. The imperial court pharmacist shares his fate with his master. No matter what, immediately take over the head of the family. Pal, who has been told, says he has always prepared to succeed Bruno. You two have carried many burdens. Well, sorry, haha. There are many secrets in this villa, aren't there? If Falma, who has the power of the medicine god, uses these raw materials, it may not be a dream to synthesize divine medicine. There is an elixir that is the highest class of medicine that uses divine arts, and its recipe is not even revealed. It is considered a panacea and is considered divine medicine that can cure any disease. Only the medicine god can make divine medicine, so. If it's Falma-kun. Falma, who has 2 medicine god crests on his body, would be able to easily synthesize the god medicine said to be created by the medicine god. Aren certainly thought so. God's medicine is also a dream story, but Falma probably won't do it. Pal said, but Ellen could agree. The era of mysterious drug substances that disappear after use and theology that demands a high price from the magician is over. Only a limited number of people can handle it, and to save someone's life is sacrificed. There is no future in pharmacy. Father also wanted to spread safe pharmacies. And I have not learned most of the forbidden techniques. Falma has brought the revelation of the medicine god to earth. The new pharmacy is thinking there. Pal, like Ellen, seemed to live in the midst of a great conflict between divine medicine, traditional medicine and modern medicine. Well, against evil spirits Falma's pharmacy is unfortunately powerless. Pal continues to decipher the cryptic old language labels in search of the active ingredient, while Ellen checks the medicine's capacity and storage conditions. It looks like I could use them all, she says. Because my father put a magic circle say it can be stored for many years in the best condition, she said. It should be possible to substitute Guardian's Eucharist or Saint's Ashes instead. Ellen looks confused as she reads the forbidden book. If not, the story of making the elixir goes back to the beginning. There was such a thing. Ellen's glasses lit up. Why can Falma's hair be used as Guardian God's communion? If you ask Falma-kun, I think he will say I don't know. Surprisingly, the hair didn't fall out. Thanks to Lot's work, it took some time to find the hair that had fallen out in Falma's bedroom, but I found about 3 strands of blonde hair that looked like them. When I cut it into small pieces and put it in a melting pot in place of the missing mystical drug substance, it seemed to react properly as Holy Communion of the Keeper. If he gets a haircut, I have to get rid of everything, he said. It's a walking mystery drug substance. Ellen and Pal purify themselves with water magic, then condense the consecrated or scarlet stone and filter to holy water, trapping the divine power in ice crystals as they floated in the air. This is the divine core. In the center of the room, a firestone made of crystal stone is used to light the fire of the divine arts, and the crucible is placed on the furnace. With the crucible in the center, Pal draws a divine art formation on the floor of the guest room to purify the place, places Lot on top of it, and creates a divine art path to channel divine power through Lot's body. The materials are ready. The preparations have been completed. Let us begin the synthesis. Introductory chanting of the red elixir Badarasser. I will sing. No mistakes are allowed. I will definitely proceed word by word. The two divine art users met their gazes and their voices overlapped. I a pair of it use Louvrum late IMT. In addition to the scarcity of raw materials and the strict requirements for the practitioner, the process of synthesizing elixir is simple compared to the synthesis of other drugs, and the synthesis does not require much time. Using a holy water as the solvent, it simmers and completely dissolves many rare divine artifacts while pouring divine power into the divine core, which is the catalyst. Pour the sorcerer's blood into it, filter and refine it. With a long chant and the divine power of two water magic users, the mystical drug substance began to dissolve in the solvent. True to its name, the red elixir, the crucible glows red. Whether the technique succeeds or fails, there is no turning back. How can life be taken? It's a kind of elixir curse, isn't it? If something other than the curse intervenes physically, the curse can be broken, right? What was considered a curse could be solved with Falma's apothecary. Ellen thought of this possibility. In other words, in this compounding, the operator is infected with something. I see. Perhaps I should analyze the mysterious drug substance that seems to be infected. It is almost completely melted. I will pour blood. Yes. Let's solve the mystery after synthesis. Hearing Pale's call, Ellen's expression narrowed with her sky-blue eyes. I put the knife with the crystal stone blade I had prepared to my fingertip and cut it all at once, causing it to bleed. What are you doing? Give me the knife. It is written that those who donate their blood for this forbidden art will lose half of their remaining lifespan. Right. Lend me your knife, you will miss the chance to melt completely. Do you want to fail and die from the curse? Pal yells at Ellen. I'm the only one who donates my blood to the elixir. As you know, there are not many apothecaries in the world who are patron gods of medicine. Even if I, the patron god of the water gods, do not have that, Palcoon would be the one kind. There are many mystic arts that can be used. That's why you're an idiot. If you don't have those two, you don't meet the conditions. Pal grabbed the blade of Ren's knife and blood flowed out. Then he took Ren's wrist and dipped both hands into the crucible. Here, the wound has become infected. But you're not even. Don't be pessimistic. Pale's words sounded like wishful thinking to Ellen. I wonder if La Chan will be infected too. Since it's distilled, Charlotte won't be infected. The elixir that absorbed their blood changed to a bright red transparent color. As Pal stirred it with the tip of his wand, a red light erupted, creating ripples. It is taken from the heat, carefully strained and distilled, and finally refined with divine power. The two chanted with enthusiasm. Badarasser Medici. It was an amount that could be scooped with one hand, but the refined Badarasser had a viscous sheen, glowed red, and had a honey-like consistency. Still, they are both still alive. Instant death was prevented, and it seems the elixir was successfully mixed. Ellen is deeply touched by the success of the elixir's formulation, which, if unsuccessful, results in instantaneous death by flight, and where the caster's conditions are not met. I can't believe it's ready. Hurry up and use it on Charlotte. There's no crow, it's everything. Got it. Ellen takes a lot of elixir with a medicine spatula, kneads it and applies it to Lot's forehead, which is on the magic circle. The divine art traces the center of the body, pushing it directly over the heart and drawing it in a straight line down to the navel to connect the divine art with the divine art circuit through Lot's body. After a while, the elixir was sucked into Lot's body. Gradually, her skin regained its redness. Ellen and Pal looked at each other and nodded in relief. I'm breathing deeper, please. Paul also sat down on the floor and checked Lot's vital signs. Your pulse and body temperature seem to be increasing. Now you just have to wait for her to wake up. It looks like she's pulled Charlotte's soul back. I opened my eyes slightly. I closed them again, but I'm just waiting for my consciousness to return. The two were released from their extreme concentration and showed fleeting smiles. Guys, what are you doing here? In a high-pitched voice, Beatrice broke through the door barricade with divine arts and stepped into the room, literally opening a hole in the room. Hey, my mother. How are you? As Pal said, you can enter the guest room through a secret passage, but it seems that you have completely forgotten. Beatrice doesn't know much about pharmacy, but she seems to have sensed something unusual. She emitted a shouting voice. No way did you use a forbidden technique. The only way to help Charlotte was to make a miracle cure. As if surprised by Beatrice's good intuition, Pal explained. Well, how stupid. What did you give for it? It's nothing that bothers you, mother. As you can see, both I and Eleanor are safe. Ma'am, botch bon voice how can I apologize? Lot's mother Catherine bursts into tears outside the room when she learns that she seems to have done something terrible to Lot. Perhaps considering her mother Catherine was in mortal danger for her daughter, Beatrice resignedly looked directly into the faces of Pal and Ellen. Already. Get over it. Banjutsu is a scary technique. I'm glad you're safe. Okay, I'm sorry. Pal and Ellen speak of regret. Beatrice had a face that suppressed her deep sorrow, but she spoke quickly in a frightened voice. Get out of here. Evil spirits are flooding the city because the temple has lost its power, and even the divine arts users throughout the imperial city cannot be stopped. It seems that a temporary evacuation order to Rambu City has been issued by decree throughout the imperial city. At the same time, a medicine called Hebarator has been distributed by the Empire to the main evacuation centers. Drink it and you should evacuate quickly. Are you Hebarator? Pal was surprised and blurted out. The solution in the vial brought by Beatrice glowed green. They say if you drink a little of it you can ward off evil spirits for several days. If you don't drink the right amount, it has no effect and it is a miracle cure that can only be used once. Beatrice made Pal and Ellen drink the elixir on the spot. The two reluctantly take it. It hurts. That's because it's a miracle drug. It's probably because of my father's composition. There aren't many apothecaries in the imperial city who can make a miracle drug. Nevertheless, it means that Master Samo also used the Forbidden Art series. It means that father is also cornered. The synthesis of Hebarator must have used divine power until the mythology of some high-level users of divine art was exhausted. I think so. Nobles deprived of divine power fall into commoners. It is an elixir that can be produced as a divine art user at the price of death. Judging from the usual Bruno, Ellen could not even imagine that he would use a forbidden technique at the expense of others. As Pal said, the situation seems to be at its worst. I have prepared a carriage. The servants of the villa and the surrounding citizens who fled to the villa are also preparing to evacuate. How is your mother? I am the wife of the leader of the Medicis. I will do my best to protect the villa until my master returns. I drank the elixir, so there is no problem. There is no way you can leave your mother behind and evacuate. Please don't look down on me as a child. If it's just about divine arts and divine power, I'm better than you as a user of divine arts. Pal complained to Beatrice. No, I will let you and Blanche escape. You are the one who underestimates me too much. I will protect this mansion until the evil spirits subside. The head of the family will be the last in the capital, the teachers of St. Fleuve Imperial Medicine School. I will stay until then I will protect this place. Go use your divine arts to protect Blanche and the residents of the mansion. Oh, mother, you don't have to be so stubborn. Beatrice's resolve seemed firm. When Pal didn't know what to do, Ellen tried to leave the guest room. I'm going. I just remembered what I have to do. Mr. Bonfoy, please evacuate with our family. Beatrice stopped Ellen. Ellen, however, turned and told her she was worried. Excuse me, Eleanor, where are you going? A pharmacy. At a time like this? There's no way I can sell. There is something I have to protect. Please take care of Lot Chan and Blanche Chan. Now, after being attacked by evil spirits, the other world's pharmacy is not completely closed because the door has been destroyed. Evil spirits can now easily enter pharmacies. The most important thing was not the items sold in the store, but the reagents that Falma said he would never need again. In the history of the pharmacy, he had previously kept the patient record and medication history. If those are lost, what Falma has done so far and what he is trying to do in the future will not be possible. Until he returns, I will have to defend him at the cost of my life. Every position has been decided. Fortunes of war. Wait, Eleanor. I believe we can meet again with a smile. Ellen smiled stubbornly, shook off Pale's reluctance, and ran off.